So the Back for Blood beta has finally finished, and while this video has been a while in the making, I can hands down 100% say that I thoroughly enjoyed myself. The beta was run in 2 parts, each consisting of 3 days apiece. I was late to the first half, but what I played I thoroughly enjoyed. Now, I'm not going to say that I was the greatest, that I did all the things, but I got far enough that I was happy with my own self, and I suppose that counts for something. Now, for those of you who don't know what it is a 4-person multiplayer co-op, and if you cannot find real people to play with you, well then they do have bots. Now in this case, this is obviously a beta, so there are things broken, and there are things that will be fixed by the time this rolls out around October. I'm not going to go into the broken stuff because by the time some people watch this, there won't be any point. So, where to begin? As I've mentioned, it's a 4-player multiplayer co-op, in much the same way as games like Vermintide, World War Z, and Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. The kicker is that this game, Back for Blood, is made by the same studio, only this time it's with Warner Brothers backing, not Valve. There are more characters that I wasn't able to play because they're locked and won't come out until the game is finished, but the 4 characters that I have played are very, I want to say fun, but I feel like that word gets overused a lot. Each of the characters has different skills, perks, starting weapons, and abilities that they can do. For instance, one of them, his name is Evangelo, and his ability is to break out of things that will pin you, or at least break out of them faster. There are a whole raft of weapons and equipment that you could use and pick up throughout the game, and there's also a few new mechanics. So for those of you who played Left 4 Dead, it was fairly straightforward. You'd load in with your character, you'd run through the map taking on hordes and specials until you reach the safe room. Back 4 Blood turns that up. Not necessarily to 11, but definitely up a few notches on that dial. They've introduced a few new mechanics, such as copper coins that help you buy things like attachments for weapons within the safe room at the start. Each time it's not just a single map, you now are involved in a run. The only thing that I can equate this to is with Vermintide 2's latest DLC, for lack of a better turn of phrase, the Chaos Wastes, where you would enter into a run through the Chaos Wastes, starting at one map and finishing on another 4 or 5 maps down the line. Back 4 Blood's runs usually have 8 maps. You can duck out wherever you want to. You can also continue said runs after you've ducked out periodically. You can also abandon said runs. But the point is that these copper coins allow you to buy equipment, things like grenades, health packs, stuff to help you continue the mission, like revive packs, like a defibrillator or a heavy-duty medical pack. You could even then there's attachments for your weapons, things like silencers to make them quieter so you can be a little bit more sneaky, things that help with recoil, movement speed, more bullets, less bullets, that kind of thing. And obviously the weapons themselves. The only thing I don't think you can attach stuff to are the melee weapons, of which there are a few. Now, I don't have enough time, and I can't remember all the weapons that you can do stuff with, and I can't remember what all the characters do, but each of the characters, they have, like I said, their own unique abilities. Used Evangelo by way of an example, and they will have really good synergy. The thing that really, I guess, sets this game out from other stuff is the use of cards and deck building. Now, this makes it sound like it's one of those card-based dungeon crawler deck builder games that it really isn't. It's taken that whole deck building idea from some of those games to somewhere different. The primary difference is that despite the cards are not the game themselves, they're just a small part of a greater whole. The cards do the same thing as your attachments for weapons would do, but in a different kind of way. each of the cards within the deck that you build has a particular purpose, be it giving you better stamina, being able to run faster, being able to do more damage, take more damage. For instance, there's a few cards that allow you to take more damage. Couple of the cards that I found particularly indispensable was one that turned your knockback stun melee for when you're reloading and the zombies come up on you, you can knock them back. It turns that into a knife attack, which is a one-hit kill. But melee does cost stamina, as does running. So it's something that you don't want to be doing all the time, but combining that card with turning your knockback into a kill, combining that with another card which actually turns that into something that will heal you for 2 HP, I found those cards indispensable to the point where the 3 decks that I have built, one was an all-rounder, one is a melee only, and one is a shooter only, they all have that in it. It's just something about those 2 cards giving your character, not necessarily invincibility, but a little bit more longevity. For myself, at least, made them indispensable. I did get the opportunity to play with a few friends as well. Shenanigans happened.
C4nnon, look at me. Look at me. Look at me right now. Look at me. Look at me. Just look at me in all my glory. Look at me right here as I'm sitting in front of me. Ask me again. Ask me again. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me and ask me honestly, Zippy, do you need ammo? Do I?
So I'm going to use that to, well, basically talk about the player base. Because Turtle Rock also did something, it's not a new idea, but a lot of people have decided that it's, I guess, I want to say too hard to implement, but I know it's been done before. I know that Mojang has done it with Minecraft Dungeons, and there are a few others which I can't think of off the top of my head, but crossplay. If you buy Back 4 Blood when it comes out in October, you will not only be able to play with people on your chosen platform, be that Xbox, PlayStation, on the PC, whatever. You'll actually be able to play with all of them. So if you're a PC player and you have the crossplay checkbox ticked, you will be able to play with people on Xbox and PlayStation. If you are a person on PlayStation, you'll be able to play with people on Xbox. So if, for instance, you have friends that have it on Xbox and you've got it on the PlayStation, but neither of you really want to buy the other console, you don't have to. You just buy the game. And, load up into a multiplayer lobby and off you go. Same deal if you're on PC. Say you've got, you got 3 friends, one of them's on Xbox, 2 of them are on PC, and you yourself playing on PlayStation. It doesn't matter. You can play with all of them, irrespective of what platform you have chosen to buy Back 4 Blood on. And I think that it's really, really good. Yes, I had some teething issues. Again, disclaimer, it was a beta. Teething issues are to be expected. Yes, not everyone has the same playstyle, so that is always going to be there's always going to be an issue, but from the various games that I played, both just as like PC only, because I play on PC, it's my chosen platform, but also with crossplay on, you're always going to come across those that have a really good head for the game, and those that are just in it to have a bit of fun because, it got recommended, they picked it up, I have games that I'm not particularly very good at, but I've got friends that will play that game with me out of sheer bloody-mindedness and patience on their part, where I just go, well, what does this do? Click the thing and all of a sudden the shit hits the fan. By way of an example, obviously. So, they've done it really, really well. I gotta give them props for that. Crossplay works. It works smoothly, for one thing. And I had a lot of fun with it. The other thing that I feel is necessary to point out is the fact that not everyone uses voice comms. Voice comms are a thing in Back 4 Blood. For a majority of the runs, I found it to be something that is indicative of how the run is going to perform. There are obviously there's a text chat as well. But for some people, I feel like voice comms should be used more. I have had more fun where I've been able to communicate with my teammates, bounce off them, and just create an enjoyable, playable atmosphere than runs where everyone has been completely silent. Which is not always... How do I put this? Voice comms are not the be-all and end-all. Obviously, you're going to get people that are just going to be really abrasive, irrespective of whether they're using text or voice. And keep in mind that I'm speaking from personal experience here, is I find voice comms to be one of those things where if you have it in a game, it is definitely something that you should use. It is a tool that you should utilize to ensure not necessarily the best possible outcome for a run, because there have been runs during the beta that playing with just some random guys on the internet where the voice comms were going and everyone was having a great time. We're having an absolute blast, but the run completely failed. It was a washout. We got wiped almost immediately. But nobody cared, because we'd found a group of people to play with that we just spent 20 minutes just having fun playing a game that we collectively enjoyed. And
if you need it, take it.
Again, going back to one of the other games that I play a remarkable amount of, Vermintide 2, I have the same thoughts on voice comms in that game as well. It definitely helps feed the enjoyability. Obviously, you need to have the right group of people for that, but voice comms, yeah. That's where I'm going to leave it. I like the voice comms in Back 4 Blood. The smoothness and the clarity of the transmission was something that they obviously paid a decent amount of attention to.
This doesn't feel like the way out.
I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Yeah. My name's Cannon Fodder. This has been another Rambles About. Today's topic was obviously Back 4 Blood. I will probably be buying this game. I'm not going to lie. This is not go out and buy this game. This is just, here's what I thought. Yes, I will be getting it. I will leave it up to you to make up your own minds. Watch reviews when it comes out. Watch people play it. Talk to people that have the game. And form your own opinion. As for me, I'm gonna go be a cleaner.